All right, let's just jump right in. We are living through, one of the biggest tech shifts in, well, ever. And if you're a parent, I'm willing to bet you're asking yourself that one big question. How on earth do I prepare my kid for a future that's changing faster than we can even talk about it? Well, today, we're going to break down a totally new way to think about that.
Now, a quote like this, it might sound a little harsh, right? But look, this isn't about scaring anyone. It's a reality check. The various skills that were gold just a few years ago, the ability to just crank out lines of code, are quickly being handled by AI. It's becoming a commodity, and let's be honest, our schools are having a really hard time keeping up. So, this gets us to the heart of the problem. A lot of the coding classes out there, even the really popular ones, they're accidentally teaching skills that are already on their way out. They're training kids for jobs that, frankly, AI is just going to do. And that creates what the tech world calls code monkeys. People who are great at following instructions, but not so great at actually designing the solution from the ground up.
And this chart? It lays it all out, crystal clear. On the left, that's the old school way, right? All about syntax, following the recipe. But look at the right side. That's the AI era. It's not about the how anymore, it's about the why. It's a total shift from just writing code to real system thinking. Instead of just following instructions, you're actually leading these incredibly powerful AI tools. And, this is the big one, it's about having the drive and the business smarts to tackle problems that actually matter in the real world.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution, right? It's not about throwing tech out the window. Not at all. It's about thinking differently. It's about moving up, moving up the food chain. It means we have to adopt a completely new philosophy.
And here it is. This is the big idea. Architecture over coding. Think about it like this. Picture your kid as the architect of a skyscraper. The architect doesn't go down there and lay every single brick, right? No way. They have a huge crew for that. In this case, that crew is AI. Your child's job is the big picture stuff, designing the blueprint, understanding how all the systems work together, and telling the tools what to build. They become the director of the project, not just a worker on the assembly line.
And when you think like an architect, something really cool happens. You start building up these durable skills, the stuff that AI just can't touch. I'm talking about real critical thinking, creative problem solving, being able to work with others and communicate your vision. And yeah, that commercial sense, knowing how to turn a cool idea into something people actually want or need. These are the skills that are going to matter for the next 50 years, guaranteed.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds good, but is it just a nice idea? Nope, it's actually a really structured journey. Because for this to actually work, kids need a clear path, right? A step-by-step guide that takes them from just being curious to being a confident creator who's building real things.
So, this journey is broken down into 5 levels. It's pretty cool. You start as a cloud explorer, literally building your own digital home base. Then you level up to a power user, where you learn to bend the tools to your will. After that, you become the architect, leading a big capstone project. But it doesn't stop there. Next, you're a solopreneur, figuring out how to market your creation. And finally, you become a lead architect, learning how to lead a team and really scale your ideas. See how each step builds on the last? It's all leading to that founder-level mindset.
Okay, theory is great. The path sounds awesome. But let's get down to brass tacks. As a parent, I know the question on your mind is, what does my kid actually make? What do we have to show for it at the end of the day?
And that is exactly the right question. Because this isn't about just learning stuff. It's about building stuff. Success here is measured by a portfolio, a collection of real, valuable digital assets that your child creates, that they own, and that they can use forever.
So how do we make that happen? Well, it all comes down to 4 core ideas. First, we use the 80-20 rule. That means 80% of the time is spent doing hands-on projects or quests, not just sitting through lectures. Second, it's set up like an open-world video game. There's a quest board, and kids get to choose what they want to tackle, which keeps them super engaged. Third, what I just mentioned, personal assetization. You build it, you own it, period. And finally, it's super efficient because it uses the powerful and frankly, easy-to-access Google Tool Suite. And these are the actual assets we're talking about. Look, at the end of this, your kid doesn't just get a piece of paper, they walk away with a professional personal website, their new home on the internet. They'll have built a real working app or a game. They'll have a full project portfolio to show off. And the crown jewel, a seriously impressive capstone project that's perfect for college applications, scholarships, you name it. Yeah, let's zoom in on that capstone project for a second, because this is huge. This is where all the skills, all the learning, it all comes together. It's basically the final exam for the architect mindset.
The most important thing to know is that this is 100% student-led. They find a real problem in their community or their school. Maybe it's a clunky way their clubs are organized. Or maybe the local animal shelter needs a better way to connect with people. They take that problem and they design a complete solution, a prototype from start to finish, thinking about the user, the design, everything. This is where they truly learn to think like a founder.
So, when you put all of this together, the philosophy, the step-by-step journey, the tangible things they create, it adds up to a pretty amazing transformation. And it's so much more than just learning a new tech skill. What we're really talking about is a mindset shift, a huge one. Your child goes from being just a consumer of technology, or even just a coder following directions, to seeing themselves as a creator, a problem solver, an architect who can take the most powerful tools in the world and use them to build whatever they can imagine.
Which really brings us to the guiding principle of this whole thing. It's simple. Don't just code, lead the AI. Because let's face it, in the world we're heading into, you're either telling the AI what to do, or it's telling you. The whole point is to make sure your child is the one holding the reins.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. The AI-powered future isn't coming, it's already here. The choice for our kids isn't if they'll use AI, but how they'll relate to it. So is your child being prepared to lead it, or are they being taught skills that will force them to compete with it? It's a big question, and the path to leadership is what we've been talking about today. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.